Okay, welcome again, everybody. Now I want to talk about life extension and the sexuality connection. Indeed, you may have heard that married people tend to live longer, and the usual focus is because they have a family that they relate to, etc., etc. They don't really talk about the sexual part of it, but the sexual part of it is important. We're going to talk about that today. Basically, sexuality, expressing your sexuality, helps you live longer. Why, you might ask? Well, because it stimulates the secretion of youthing hormones. Many studies have been done on this, and there's a higher output of the hormones from the pituitary pineal glands that help stimulate tissue repair, that help stimulate ongoing body maintenance function. So the sexuality, the sexual expression stimulates the hormones that maintain youthfulness. And you can actually tell somebody who's older, with gray hair, etc., etc., and speculate that they're not enjoying their sexuality because, it's obvious in the way they look. So another reason is that sexual pleasure is the reason people want to live longer. Why do you want to live longer? Well, because we'll have more time to enjoy relationships and the sexual pleasure that may be part of the relationship. And the orgasmic experience is healing. Every orgasmic experience resets the body energy fields. Say, for example, you've had a hard day at work, you're stressed out, oh my God, And then you come home and your partner's available, and you have a wonderful, delightful sex experience, and then an orgasm, you say, the stress is gone. Or maybe you've had a very traumatic experience with someone, and you've had a fight, but then you have a connection with your lover, and orgasm happens, and the fight is gone, this disappears. Because the energy field is reset. So the orgasmic experience is very healing as it resets your energy fields. And I want to say here that enhanced sexual expression is not really encouraged today. It's sort of discouraged. What do I mean by that? Well, I mean by having it okay to have sex more often. It's just not really encouraged. What's encouraged is you get up in the morning, you get ready to go to work, you drive to work, you work for 8 hours, you come home and you're kind of tired out. That's, it's not part of, have sex in the morning and the afternoon. It's not our lifestyle. But why not? It could be. Okay. I had to reflect on a workshop that I went to that talked about the whole audience was asked to think about what part of their body did they like. And they were all told it was going to be about sexuality, so they all came kind of prepared, But none of them went there. Well, I like my face, I like my arm. They wouldn't go to their sex organs. Finally, one woman got bold and she said, well, I kind of like my breasts. And the workshop organizers really picked up on it. Oh, Inez likes her breasts. And so because Inez knew this is sort of one of the things, they were looking for, actually I'm crazy about her. She's crazy about her. Wow, she's crazy about her breasts. It's really good. And they said, when you like your sex organs, they'll work for you. If you don't like your sex organs, they won't work for you. What does that mean? For a woman, it means she'll be frigid. For a man, he won't be able to get an erection. It won't work for you, So you have to like your sex organs. I went to a Mount Vernon workshop about 20 years ago, and a woman was there talking about dolphins. And she was in a rowboat. She said, I watched the dolphins, and all of a sudden, they began to have sex. And she says, I got embarrassed, but also excited. And she says, about 10 minutes later, here comes this man by himself, rowing up along the same area that I was. And the man began to talk to me, and she said, well, she was talking to us in a lecture at this workshop, She said, how we women are, we have to be wined and dined first. Anyway, when I heard another channel tape where a group was talking about sexuality, particularly with the dolphins, and they said, they see it more as play. You humans take it so seriously. We would like you to think about lightening up a little bit with your, sexuality idea, and see it more as play instead of, legal here and this there, you have to love me forever, sort of thing, Okay, there are sexuality traditions and schools that many of you have probably heard of. One is a tantric school of sexuality. I actually don't know much about it. I've heard that the tantrics get lost in their protocols and procedures and don't really achieve their aims with sexuality. And there's also the Taoists. There's two schools with the Taoist idea about immortality. One of the Taoist schools, the northern branch, abstains from sex. They do all the other things, but they don't allow sex. The southern school, however, of the Taoist immortality group, uses sex as one of their tools to achieve immortality. What do? They use the sexual energy to revitalize their organs. And teach them they don't allow orgasm. And I've heard that really you should allow orgasm. But their idea and belief is that, you lose some energy through the orgasm. Maybe a little bit, but you can build it up other ways, such as with breathing practices. So anyway, the tantric and Taoist schools of sexuality exist, and you can read about them. There's literature on them. I want to say that sexuality is seldom allowed to really blossom in our reality. What do I mean by that? Well, it's possible to have what's called the extended orgasm. What does that mean? It means the orgasm goes on for a long, long time, up to maybe 20 minutes or so. Yeah, people have told me even longer. Well, how do you do that? Well, you build up the energy by delaying the orgasm, working up to almost achieving the orgasm, but then holding back so you don't have the orgasm. For both partners, not just for the man or for the woman, but for both. And then you do it again. Some places up to 7 times, but then now we're getting into a protocol, and I would say you don't have to have any particular number or count. But you don't want to build up the energy, delaying the orgasm, and then when you decide it's the right time to orgasm, really work it up to get the orgasm. And the result can be quite mind-boggling.